Hi friends, Jaqui here, and I'm bringing a message from First Congregational United Church of Christ in Corvallis for young people and anyone who cares to listen. I have a candle. This candle reminds me that God is with me, even when it's not lit. I just light it to remind myself and carry that with me. So you're invited to do the same, and I am putting my hands to my chest to feel the warmth of my hands, also reminding me of God's presence within. So we're going to take a couple moments to take some deep breaths. And I have begun the practice of saying lots of love in, lots of love out. Lots of love in, lots of love out. I am breathing in God's love, and I can share God's love with the world around me. Some days that's harder than others. And we have been beginning with saying something out loud that we are really glad about, grateful for. And I today am feeling especially grateful for plants. I got to walk at Crystal Lake Park this morning and pick some blackberries that are ripe. And I also got to walk in a variety of trees. And now I have my plants at home, and I really appreciate the work that plants do and what they provide for us. So I love plants. And then moving on, after you've spoken that, what has been challenging this week? For me, that challenge was really today, this morning, right before I came on to do this. And I came home after the heart event and did some yoga, and now I'm moving here so that I can move on. And the hard challenge was when I was at the park picking blackberries, enjoying the trees and the plants and the sound and the cool air. I came across passing a person who was really angry and who just really angry and yelled at me. So I am learning how to handle that. Maybe you have good ways that you know to handle it. But I know that I don't like the feeling rising up in me that wants to react to that person's anger because I was enjoying such a peaceful walk. So I think I'm moving on, but that was a real challenge for me this morning. All right, friends, I have a story, and it's from Luke, the book of Luke, which is a book in the Bible, and it's chapter 14. I am reading it from the Story Bible, and it's Be Humble. It's on page 312. Be humble, and hold that word. You might not know that word. Be humble. Here are the pictures. Jesus taught many important things to his followers. You rabbis know a lot about Moses and the scriptures, he said. Listen to what the rabbis teach. Listen to what the rabbis teach you to do, but don't act like them. Because they say one thing and they do another. They give you many rules to follow, but they never give you any help when you need it. They try to show off and love to be the center of attention at parties. At gatherings, they like the seats where everyone can see them. Don't follow their example. God doesn't want you to show off or try to be the center of attention. God just wants you to be humble and kind and helpful. Learn from me. This is what will make you special. So here are the rabbis saying one thing and doing another. And here's Jesus teaching his followers, listen to what they say, but don't do what they do. The question for us is, how do you feel when you are first in line? How do you feel when you are last in line? And surprisingly, that question goes with the story I told last week or the week before about how in high school, I used to try to get first in line for lunch because I didn't want to have to wait till the very end if our class got out late before lunch. And I'm so embarrassed about that. So I know when I'm first in line, I feel awkward. I don't like being first in line usually, but I feel anxious about not being first in line. I feel anxious sometimes that I won't get what I need to get. Maybe you have similar feelings. I have a story about something that happened more recently than the story Jesus told. And that story is about a place in Canada, in Newfoundland, and back in before you were born, possibly 20 years ago. There is a town named Gander, and this happened right after the airplanes hit the Twin Towers in New York, America. So when two airplanes crashed into the Twin Towers, airports in New York and other areas of the United States had to just close down. And they wouldn't let planes land. So those planes that were in the air at the time had to find a safe place to land. And many of them landed in Newfoundland, Canada. And so that meant the people on the airplanes, this mix of people from all over, needed a place to stay and food to eat. And they had all kinds of different needs. And the people of this town called Gander, they provided food, they provided places to live, they even handed their house keys over to some of these people to live with them until they could get home or wherever they were going. So that's just an example, more modern example of what Jesus is saying in the story I read. There's a game we're going to play on Sunday called More for You. And that is where there are two sides with a set of foam throwing objects. And the goal is to, for 2 minutes, try to get more of these foam objects over to the other side. And whoever at the end of the time, whoever has the least amount of objects on their side is the winner. So it's a way of showing sharing. And you win if you share more in the game. Friends, I hope that your week has lots of wonderful delights ahead. I know that it's almost time for school to begin again. And as a teacher, I am aware of feelings that come with that. It's a mix of feelings. And I hope you can carry some of this story with you into your week and the beginning of the school year too. All right, friends, I want to say a prayer and then we will blow the candle out. And I'm going to put my hands to my chest just to feel again kind of a centering. And feel my chest rise with air, maybe my belly rise with air. God, please help us all to be humble and to also not forget our own needs. and be with everyone who's going back to school soon. Amen. I will see you next time, friends.